Ismael, welcome and thank you for joining me on Happier Talk.
Well, I'm so happy today, Tal, because as I told you off camera, I've been following your work, and the Happy Summit brought me the opportunity to meet you in person and to listen to you in person. So thank you so much, and this is an honor to be interviewed by you.
Well, thank you very much. An honor for me. And I'm wondering, why are you here at the World Happiness Summit? What brought you here?
Well, I've been a communicator my entire life. Since I was 8, I started doing radio, and when I was 15 in my native Cuba, I started doing television. So my entire life I was broadcasting something. And then when I left Cuba in 1998 and I went to Canada, I actually became like a known celebrity. I had to start over. And I was a waiter at a restaurant. And then I said, well, this period of my life has to have a reason, a purpose. And then I discovered that I didn't have a purpose in serving other people. I was doing broadcasting, but I didn't have a mission. I started when I was a kid. There was no real substance behind the goals or the objective of being a communicator, a journalist. When I was waiting on tables, I understood that everything you do in life has to have a purpose of adding value to somebody else. Because I wasn't getting enough good tips, and I said, oh my God, these people are so cheapy. I've been standing here serving them 8 hours and they don't give me even $1. But it was me, the one doing that job so poorly that nobody wanted to give me anything. And then I said, well, I need to start serving, creating that genuine interest in doing something for somebody else. When I came back to television, that was my mission. And my career changed because now I have an intention in broadcasting not only the facts, but in broadcasting inspirational stories, stories that will elevate consciousness and that will elevate, our collective soul, because we have to have a mission in life.
Yeah. Wow. So tell me, tell me a story that elevated you and that you feel also elevated your viewers.
Well, I had so many stories. For instance, one of the interviews that I've done, because I interview like over 1,000 people on CNN and español all across Latin America. That's the international signal of CNN, but in Spanish language. But one of the greatest interviews I had was with a guy that was not famous, and he was born almost with a death sentence. That, something happened genetically with his muscles and his lungs, and the doctor said to his parents, he's going to live only for 7 days, maybe 2 weeks. And that guy, being 35, was there. He has limitations, he cannot really run or walk a lot, but he has a mind. Michael Melamed, Venezuelan guy, he has a mind that is more powerful than so many other minds in people that have everything biologically speaking put in place. And then he said, when I interviewed him, you know what, Ismael, I'm coming here to tell you that I'm going to run the New York Marathon. And I said, really, Michael? And he said, yes, but I'm going to run 5 marathons in the next 5 years. And over the 5 years doing the show, he did it. My last interview with him was after he collected all the medals from all 5 marathons. And I said, amazing. You know what? These are the stories that we really have to look up for inspiration.
I know, inspiration and appreciation.
Yes.
Because, so one of the people, as you were talking, I was thinking of one of my role models, Helen Keller, who had, at least physically speaking, so little and yet had so much and experienced life to its fullest. And these are the stories that can make a difference. So this is great, and tens of thousands, millions of people have watched you on CNN, and I think about the power of the media. And we hear a lot of objection to the media that's mostly talking about the negative and how it's perpetuating the negative. First of all, what do you think of that? But second, what do you think the media can do, should do And how can you do it to bring about a happier society?
Let me tell you that was a dilemma all these years that I've been on television as a journalist, because media has to place the facts in front of people. I think that's the mission.
Absolutely.
And I think that adds value to society. But the limits in how you do it and how frequent you reiterate the same tragic story is what we need to understand. And sometimes I felt, okay, what is the purpose in doing this story that is being repeated on every single show since 9 a.m. and my show is at 9 p.m. And then I said, well, I have to look for an understanding of something that the viewers will get, and probably, like a solution that we can all look for the situation. So I believe that beyond the facts, we have to go through analysis of why these things are happening, not only getting on the surface of the facts, but a conscious level or a subconscious level of a nation or a society has to be understood and analyzed. And that was always my dilemma as a broadcaster. What is the purpose? What am I doing? Am I creating anxiety, uncertainty, depression on people? Or I'm telling them the truth, but I'm giving them an antidote not to be without hope.
Right.
No?
Yes, and then also in addition to that, perhaps elevating them, introducing. So do you think positive news can catch? Because people say, oh, that's boring, we want the sensational, we want the negative. Can positive news catch?
I don't think so. It's a shame because that becomes the vicious circle of broadcasters saying, well, if we all do, only do positive news, we don't get the ratings. I mean, the headlines of a newscast cannot say that everything is well because people turn it off. It's sad, but that's the reality. You know what we call the good news, the positive news at the end, the tail of a newscast, the kicker. Okay, let's end up with a positive note. It's only a kicker when you see after the tragic events of a half-hour newscast, then we say, hey, this is a good piece of information. A panda bear
was born in the zoo.
Or was born in the China zoo, something like that. Right. That's a kicker.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, and I think about this a lot. So let's say you had an open check. You could create your own TV station, your own programs there. What are some of the things that you would introduce, given the limitations of the fact that people would not switch on the TV just for good news? But what kind of media would you create? You could do anything.
Well, let me tell you, one of my role models has been Oprah Winfrey for so many years. Since I got to Toronto, I didn't know Oprah and I didn't know English. And I was studying English as a second language, and I didn't have furniture in the empty room that I was sleeping as a Cuban refugee in Canada. And then I picked up a broken TV that a family just left in the corner of my block. And I put like a little antenna, and I started watching Canadian TV. And one day Oprah was on the air. And I didn't know who Oprah was because actually the TV was a color TV, but it was broken, so it was green and white. Mm-hmm. So Oprah looked like kind of a Martian to me. I didn't know that she was African American anyway. But I kind of understood her with more clarity than so many other broadcasters, because I think that she really has a good articulation and diction of the English language. And I started following Oprah, not just because of only the message, because I understood the English and I was studying. And then I kind of followed her career, and I understood that she had a mission to elevate people's lives.
That's good.
Through the content that she was putting on the air. So if I had the blank check, probably I would go the same road in Spanish, because I think that we in Spanish need what she's trying to create with OWN and Super Soul Sundays and this kind of content, like that amazing series like Believe, going all around the world to showcase the diversity and the unity at the same time of human race. So I think that I will do that. I will ask Oprah to give me some of her content and put it in Spanish, and I will do some other original content, but with the same purpose.
Yes, I think it's a wonderful vision.
Yes.
It's a wonderful vision. What are you spending your time on today?
I quitted my job at CNN because I have a social venture, a social entrepreneurship project that it's a company with a social vision and a foundation. And both of them are working on the same strategy. We want to create content for the Latin American region to elevate consciousness, to talk about leadership with soul, mindfulness at work, mindfulness as an education tool, because really I believe, based on my personal history, that if we educate kids with these tools to go into their inner world, they don't have to suffer and become victims of their own family history, like it was myself. You know, suicide, schizophrenia, and for so many years, I believed that I was going to end up like my dad or like my grandfather, who, you know, kind of ended up his own life, because nobody gave me emotional intelligence, positive psychology, mindfulness. Nobody taught me to meditate. So I really think that because this served me so well in my entire personal transformation, with my company and the foundation, we can make a difference in the Latin American region doing this content.
Wow, that's remarkable. Well, thank you very much, Ismael, for all the work that you do and for elevating people's consciousness and soul.
Well, I have to say that I just asked you off the air if you can be my mentor, because you have been actually a virtual mentor for millions of us. But now that I had the opportunity, this is synchronicity, to meet you in person, I really would like to learn as much as I can from you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tal.
My honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.